On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and say sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. You see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up. You see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up. Ooh, I've been on the flex since flex zone. Neighborhood all in your eardrums. I ain't never scared like Bone Crush. Boy, I got God, don't fear none. My line busy, take no calls. Feels like I don't have no flaws. Snakes in the grass, cut those off. Yo, squad shady, my bros raw. No breaks, we go. Throw shade, that's a no. Go high, go low. Like spinning in a 644. Cash money like 504. Ball like AD24. No sleep, need more. Pick it up. You see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up. You see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up. Ooh, I'm a real one, my day ones. Try speak up, can't say none. Try dig dirt, there ain't none. I make the money that save up. 10 to 80, my savings. Take to the top from the basement. New car, race on. Fast lane, pace on. With the booyah, that's a flex. Non-human, I ain't from another planet. I'ma teleport, might vanish. I'ma wake up, do damage. Jordan number 7, East Bordeaux. Working all night, need more though. I remember nights I was poor though. Pick it up. You see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up. You see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up. Go beast on them. I go beast. Go deep, I OD on them. Apply pressure, put heat on them. Put that 500 degrees on them. 500 degrees. Go dummy, go levitate. Going up, elevate. Watch me demonstrate. On time, never late. I grind, celebrate. No pump fake, hesitate. I've been scoring every day. Champagne Perrier. Since 9-3, been in the box, now stepping up tone. Like straight out the sandlot, now I'm plotting on the globe. I work hard, I show love, that karma steady growing. Got this far, I go hard, let God take control. I was starving skinny, now my weight up, got no energy for haters. See you trying, see you later. I'm shooting for the stars, need no laser beam, blowing like the greatest, but it's one who's always greater. Yo, go dummy, go beast on them. I go beast, go deep, I OD on them. Apply pressure, put heat on them. Put that 500 degrees on them. 500 degrees, go dummy, go beast on them. I go beast, go deep, I OD on them. Apply pressure, put heat on them. Put that 500 degrees on them. Smile good, skin clear. This here my year. Hey, look up here. This here my tier. Same for 4 days. I grind 4 ways.
Yo. What's good? Welcome everybody back to the channel. Shout out old subscribers, new subscribers. Those of you who are coming around the first time, I go by the name Chris Strong. Welcome to the channel. And so we got a topic we're gonna get into for the afternoon. Do a little midweek show for you guys. I know that my usual time is usually Saturday, but I want to get into doing more shows. So I want to start doing, let me turn that off. So I want to start doing more of a midweek show. Try to do a midweek show and a weekend show. Try to, step up my output, start giving y'all more information. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the panel. Brother Jamel's already in the building. Top producer in the back. Shout out to you. What's good, family? Y'all come on in, hit that like. I won't hold y'all too long this evening. This probably be one of my shorter videos, because today we're going to talk about Andrew Tate, an interview that he had with the BBC reporter, and how that relates to so much of what's going on in today's mainstream environment. You know what I'm saying? And I titled this, men are not allowed to speak, because it's like, we're not, essentially, right? We're not allowed to stand up for what we believe in as men. We're not allowed to have standards. We're not allowed to have values, because everything is seen as toxic. It's seen as destructive. It's seen as somehow, some type of way, in order for women to have this freedom that they feel like they don't have, or what's been taken from them by the quote unquote patriarchy. It's like men have to lose in order for women to win or to succeed. And a lot of that can be seen in how this interview kind of goes between Andrew Tate and this reporter. No, but it is good to see that a lot of men are starting to step up. They're starting to realize who they are, and they're starting to have a better understanding of how to carry themselves. But Tate gets drug out here to be like he's some type of villain. But like I said, I'm not going to hold you guys long. We're going to get into this. We're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down, and I'm going to give y'all some of my viewpoints over the situation. All right, so let's go ahead and get it started. All right, we're at the top with it. Let's go ahead and begin this.
Understand that, but it's my influence as a whole which people are afraid of, not necessarily the things I say.
Let's start with the allegations. Have you raped anybody?
Absolutely not.
Have you trafficked anybody?
Absolutely not.
Exploited any women for
Absolutely
money?
not.
But you have admitted using emotional manipulation to get women to work in the webcam industry for you.
No. Firstly,
now even I want to go ahead and stop right there. At the very beginning, she's already trying to do what she can to incriminate Tate. And it is so interesting how it's like, let's go over everything that makes you a villain and see your opinion on it, and then try to tie it into something that he may agree to. That's a technique that a journalist would use to say, let's give him a whole bunch of obvious no's, and then give him something to, maybe stumble on about, oh, well, you emotionally manipulated these women into doing something on camera. Where, first of all, the quote unquote emotional manipulation that she's talking about, well, even if we were going to give her that, first of all, that's not a crime. Okay. What laws therefore say Andrew Tate cannot sweet talk a girl and then she does something that he asked her to do and then she does it and then that is somehow breaking the law, unless it was actually robbing a bank or something like that. Last I checked, working a webcam business or being the CEO or somebody who's in charge of one, last I checked, that's not illegal. All right, let's keep going.
Let's begin let's start at the beginning. I'm facing charges. The first one you mentioned, the rape one's already been thrown out by a judge because there's no evidence of it. Secondly, it's very difficult for me to sit here and have a very frank and honest conversation with you while we're in the territory of Romania about a legal case that's going on within Romania. I have to protect myself. I've agreed to do an interview with you, and I want to be as honest with you as possible. But I can't incriminate myself in any way, and I have to be very careful with what I talk about.
There are no charges yet.
Correct. There are no charges.
Said
there are no charges, and I've agreed to speak to you.
There are no charges. That's very important. Understand that he had to stand on that to let her know. Okay. No, don't tell me there are no charges yet. There are no charges. Again, the projection that she's coming from is Andrew Tate is this horrible person and we need to do something about him, right? So again, we can already see from where we are, it's, he had to make it clear, right? He said, no, there are no charges, period. Not yet, as though they're supposed to be coming, right? Follow along.
To you, but I have to be as honest and frank as I can while also protecting myself and following my legal counsel.
So let's talk about what you've said yourself then. You have said on the website for your original website for the Hustlers University that you emotionally manipulated women to fall in love with you so that you could get them working in the sex industry for your financial gain.
As I said, I have to be very careful with what I say, but let's put it this way. No women are coming out against me and accusing me of doing it.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. Who?
There's testimony from the current investigation.
The current investigation, which I cannot discuss, which I know intimately and you don't, I can tell you right now that the women who are in this case file, there are 2 American women who have been caught already admitting they're lying, and then nobody else is accusing me of anything.
To begin with, it's very common in cases like
now. See, what she's about to do now is try to shift the narrative. Understand how he crushed that point and said, no, nobody's saying anything. And now she's gonna move the whole entire goalpost, and now she's gonna drag this over into something that is completely far and away from what she said. Understand, first, she made the claim many women are saying this. Tate cuts that down. Now she's gonna try to move the narrative or shift the goalpost into some ethereal projection or idea of how these things usually go, and then try to tell Tate more about his case than what he actually knows about what he's dealing with and going through. But again, also, he can't incriminate himself. He can't say anything. Okay, he can't give her more information. So right now she's fishing, she's probing, and she's almost taunting him. Check, it's we're gonna keep going. Watch this.
Like this, that the alleged victims do not always see themselves as victims.
Well, that's very interesting. It's actually extremely interesting because if I was a matrix controlled organization and my goal was to slander somebody and try and destroy their name, you're telling me that they've chosen a crime which, one, is heinous, of course, because it damages the person's credibility, and 2, you're saying that even if everyone else involved, if you have 5 people and everyone's sitting there saying, no, nobody's hurt anybody, we like Andrew, we've all worked together, we're friends, etc.
That's not what everybody's saying.
No.
Let me read you some of the testimony from the current investigation.
Can I finish this?
One of the witnesses said,
can I finish this?
You're not answering the question I've asked you.
Look at the smugness, just cutting him off, not letting him finish, and then her response is, "You're not answering my question." Tate is like, "Can I explain myself? Can I tell you? Can I give you the information on what you're asking me?" So this is the beginning of why so many people were trying to say this interview started to go on a just horrible direction, because you can tell how she's coming at him already from the beginning. We're going step by step of how this started to go away. Okay. And the way it ended up the way it ended, right?
You're not answering the question.
I am answering the question. You're saying you're saying the people who are involved in this, even if they say they're not victims, that they're still going to try and attack me and pretend they're victims.
Treated as victims by the case that's ongoing. And not all of them are saying that. One of the witnesses says,
we can't go into the case. The case is open and active.
Well, let's just be clear that not all.
Again, you see what she's trying to do, right? She's trying to step in the territory of where Tate, okay, he can't speak about the case, but then again, she wants to try to use the case as a way to incriminate him, and he can't really talk about it. She wants to go into what the victims are saying, this and that, and Tate said, I know more about this case than you do. Why are you trying so desperately to make it seem as though I don't know what the hell is going on in my own case? He said that he's read all the statements, he knows all the things, and he said that the two supposed women who said these things have already been found out to be liars. So what she's trying to do is paint a narrative, okay? Now, I want everybody to understand who's watching that this, okay, is textbook on how to maintain frame in a conversation when somebody is trying to undermine your knowledge or trying to undermine you and make you sound like you don't know what the hell you're talking about. All right. I want everybody to make sure and understand Tate's keeping his composure. He's literally holding his frame. He's there. He's present. He's not letting her overtalk him. Just pay attention to the body language as this kind of moves throughout. I don't know if I'm going to go through the whole thing, but I'm going to do my best to hit on the points that I want to hit on for you guys so you can have an understanding of instruction on what it means to be solid, because these are the type of understandings and techniques and mentality that you can use whenever you're in a situation where someone is trying to undermine you or talk to you as though you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Understand the body language, understand how he maintains a narrative, understand how he holds, like I said, it's frame, and he keeps things on track. All right. Shout out to LXT in the chat. Shout out to you, family. Let me go ahead and show some love to the family. What's up? What's up, family? What's up, family? Jamel came through. Damn right, propaganda 101. All right. Shout out. All right, let's keep it going.
All of the witnesses in the case are behaving in the way you described. And even those that are, it doesn't bar them from being treated as victims by the prosecution, by the case. We have an open criminal investigation. I am absolutely not really sure I'll be found innocent. I know the case better than you. I know it intimately and you don't. I have seen all the criminal files and the evidence against me and you haven't. I know the truth of what happened and you don't. And I'm telling you absolutely not really, I've never hurt anybody, that the case that's been put against me is completely and utterly fabricated. And I'm never going to be found guilty of anything. And it's very difficult for me to answer your in-depth questions because we're sitting here inside of the territory of Romania. I'm beholden to the Romanian legal system. And I'm not going to incriminate myself because you're trying to prod me. Again,
this is masterclass, guys. Pay attention. Look at what Tate is doing. He's dismantling every point she tries to put on the table. He's knocking that shit down. Understand, he is speaking back to her exactly what she's trying to say. He says, I know this case better than you. You will not try to tell me what it is. I know exactly what it is. You're not going to tell me what you think of my case that I'm in because I have the facts. I know the talking points and I know what's going on here. And again, look at him. He's looking her dead in the eyes. He's sure, he's aware, he's present. Again, holding it together and essentially saying, I'm not going to incriminate myself under Romanian law. I'm not going to let these things happen, okay? I'm not going to let you come in here and get me off my game and destroy me. Because above all, Tate knows who he is, and he's very sure of himself, very confident. Everything about this oozes confidence, okay? I mean, our reporter here, Lucy, I mean, you can see that when she gets defeated on a point, she'll quickly hop to something else, all right? That's usually a tall tale sign that you essentially smack somebody's point. All right. And they weren't able to get you on it. So they'll keep moving. Right. Even if y'all didn't know who, for those of you who hadn't seen this, I'm pretty sure most people have seen this, but his lawyer is in the background as well as his brother, I believe. There's a good few people who are around there on the other side of the camera. But the other female voice that you hear is actually his lawyer, if I'm not mistaken. And she'll get in there from time to time and say, you know, let Lucy know we can't talk about that. You know that. Knock it off. Right. So let's keep it going.
You are wrong, and we're going to have to accept that for now and talk about something else.
Let me read you then what you have said about
Sure.
what you have done.
Sure.
You have said, my job was to meet a girl, go on a few dates, sleep with her, get her to fall in love with me to the point where she'd do anything I say, and then get her on webcam so we could become rich together.
I don't think that's what I personally said. I think
That's
that's
exactly what
no,
you said
that's
on your
that's
website.
that's no. I've never said that. That's something that you found on the internet. Doesn't mean I've said it.
In
And
your-
and again, once again, if any female on the planet has a problem with me, I strongly recommend her to go to the police and try and pursue me for criminal charges. It's actually very interesting that me, one of the most famous people in the world, who's been vilified by the legacy media and places all over the internet, while everyone has attacked me from every single angle, while federal agencies from multiple countries have called over 2,000 women who know me, we stand here with 0 new accusations since my arrest. 0. If you took any famous person, any man of substantial wealth, and you called 2,000 women who knew him, you'd find an ex-girlfriend is upset, somebody who wants money who's upset. They called 2,000 people who knew me and could not find a single woman to make a new complaint. The only complaints they have against me are the initial complaints, which we can prove are lies, and that's where it stands. So I'm not going to sit here and allow you to pretend that I'm some kind of evil predator, when actually I'd argue the fact that people who've been investigated to the level I've been investigated to, if you were to take the average man on the street and investigate his entire life for 14 months, call everyone who's ever known him, and vilify him in the media, and encourage people to come forward for money, and you try to contact every
You
ex-girlfriend
think
he's ever had.
would come forward and accuse those people of rape and accuse those
I
people
think
of
that you would have a lot more.
manipulation?
I think you would have a lot more flack than I've got. I'm actually such a nice person that
The
I've
BBC
never had
has
anyone come at me.
spoken to somebody since your arrest who says exactly those things, that with you it's all manipulation, there's an ulterior
Is this
motive to
Sophie?
everything
Is this
you've
Sophie?
done.
Again, look at that. Always one step ahead. He knows exactly what's going on. He understands that they're trying to, again, use the person that they used in the, I believe it was in the Vice video, where they tried to use this person as a proxy, this Sophie person that nobody knows, nobody can prove exists, and, you know, was kind of supposed to be the smoking gun for all these allegations. And Tate is just like, this person that you guys have made up against me, who doesn't even exist, you're trying to bring them against me, and it's not going to work. Okay. It's not going to work. Understand, again, everything that she puts at him, everything she throws at him, Tate is standing on it. He's on top of it. Okay. The problem is, and before he gets to it, she comes from a let's say a mindset or a persona. She believes that she is able to talk to Tate in such a way. So this is where we kind of get into the feminism of this. We get into this perspective that, oh, Tate, the whole world is against you. You know you're a villain. You might as well own up to it. You might as well admit it, Tate. And you know, the thing is, it's just like Tate's not going for it because he's on top of everything she's saying. He's on top of every move. Okay. He's not letting them create the narrative. Okay. This is very important to when you're in conversations where you know who and what you are, and you know that somebody is trying to undermine you or speak to you in a way that makes you sound as though you're less knowledgeable about what you're talking about. Okay.
Oh, it's Sophie, the fake name, no face,
I was so
the
intent
story that
on
was
wanting
invented.
to please him and wanting him to be happy that I was just kind of, yeah, okay, do whatever you want.
And what is she
That's
accused?
how
Has she accused me of a crime? This imaginary Sophie?
She's making the point that there is
Has she accused me of a crime?
emotional or psychological manipulation.
I've asked you a question.
Has she accused me of a crime? Emotional, psychological, and manipulation. A crime. Where's the arrest warrants for these type of allegations? Right? Hell, if that was the case, and every man who's ever been in a relationship broken up with his girlfriend or wife, she could be taken down for psychological, emotional manipulation. Where does that come in for men? You've taken my children from me. Arrest her for psychological manipulation, using my children against me in order to get more money. Where's that at? Where are those cases? So how in the hell can you make that a point now on the other side? How in the hell can she say and try to listen? She's trying to stand on the point of some type of psychological, emotional manipulation. She's trying to stand that next to actual crimes. See, that's why and where this is so important for us to look at. She's trying to take some ethical idea of right and now attribute it to the height of what a crime is, making this fantastic jump and trying to tie Tate to this non-ethical way of dealing with people. So many people would be in cuffs if that were the case, right? I mean, hell, the advent and idea of an OnlyFans is unethical, depending on your perspective. This is why you can't really argue ethics, because people come from different cultures, places, and situations, right? So for her to fix herself or fix her face to say that, oh, Tate, well, you emotionally manipulated these women. Tate again says, where's the crime? Where's the allegations? Even women who will come out and say a man sexually assaulted her, or she was abused some type of way, or she was taken advantage of. And then they'll cry this and say that, oh, he did this to me, he did that to me, he did this. Okay. All right, question. Did you go to police? If there was a crime done against you? No. They generally don't, because they still want to stay in a relationship with that dude most times. And she's making this hell of a stretch to try to say that Andrew Tate is such this villain. He's such this masculine, horrible man. Okay. That we must bring him down because he emotionally manipulates women. Majority of those women who get around Tate are around Tate because they want to be. Okay. You're not fooling anybody over here.
And I've allowed you into my house.
I'm asking you a question.
Correct, but you're not the boss here because I've allowed you into my house.
I'm asking you the question.
Correctly, and I'm telling you.
Wait a minute. Now this right here is something that I think that we also need to quick point on. Understand, did y'all see and notice the microaggression? Where now look, I want you to look at her face real quick. This is as Tate begins to lean over and take more of the neutral territory between. So this is body language 101. As Tate begins to lean over into and take more of that neutral space in between them, all right? Because she tried to get firm and stern with him. She went into mom mode. She tried to wag her finger at him. And he said, no, you fucking don't. You know why? That was a microaggression. Okay. And a lot of men, you have to be very keen on microaggressions. Okay. That was her giving. Look at that face. Look at her face. That is literally how a mother speaks to a child. We all know what her face looks like right there. When a child is being scolded, that is the look that the mother gives to the child. And Tate reflects that back and says, no, you will not come here and address me like a child in my house. Okay. Understand. All right. Picking up on the body language and the movements and also how she's trying to communicate to him as though she's coming from a place of being better. Tate immediately notices it because he reads body language very well and he reflects it back. And this is where he begins. Okay. Reaffirming, you will not come into my house and tell me who and what I am. Okay. Because everything she started out with, so let's start out with you being a villain. Let's start out with your crime. Let's start out with your allegations. Let's start out with you this, you're that, you're that. Those were micro jabs. Okay. Those were little micro jabs. And then this was a big one that she took. This was a big microaggression she took. Okay. Matter of fact, you could pretty much call this outright aggression. She literally, okay, began to scold him. Tate said, who in the hell do I need to remind you who you are? And of course, he does remind her who she is.
You get to decide the answers.
No, we're equal here. I've allowed you into my house. You don't come here with a position of authority. I'm doing you the favor as legacy media, giving you relevance by speaking to you. And I'm telling you now, this Sophie, which the BBC has invented, which there's no face of, nobody knows who she is.
The BBC did not invent.
Of course not. And because you never invent anything.
Of course.
And she's not filed criminal charges against me. What are we talking about here? What is she saying?
Talking about emotional manipulation in the sex industry for your financial gain.
Absolute garbage. She has not filed criminal. This person, if they exist, has not filed criminal charges against me.
Quick question. Where was emotional manipulation in the sex industry, which is exactly what OnlyFans girls do? When was that a crime? When was that a crime? Don't believe me? If you talk to OnlyFans girls, they'll tell you that they will get the most money from guys who are the ones who are trying to talk to these women or expect them to be like a type of girlfriend to them. Even strippers will tell you, these guys who just sit around the club and just want somebody to talk to, knowing damn well they just want money. Emotional manipulation. Since when is this quote unquote emotional manipulation a crime? You can argue ethics if you want. Okay, fine. We'll argue ethics, but based on what merit? Based on what are you going to have a debate about ethics? You can have that debate if the focal point, and you started out by saying, okay, well, we're both Christians, so let's talk ethics. Well, and in that case, you'd have a stronger point. But outside of that, guess what? You can't. You can't really talk about ethics. You can talk about laws, you can talk about crimes, but as far as ethically doing the thing, as long as they're not breaking the law, you can't really scold them like a child like that. It's not going to work.
I welcome anybody who believes I've harmed them, male or female, any point in the past, to file criminal charges against me. I'll fight them. I know who I am, and I know what I've done, and I know the truth, and I know that I'll be found innocent of this attack. The reason I'm being attacked is because of my massive influence, not because I've ever hurt anybody. And for you to sit here and say that everybody around you is saying you're innocent, but that doesn't matter because the state will say they're victims, and they're just going to grab everybody you know and call everybody victims, even if they say they're not, and try and put you in jail. You are describing a matrix attack. You're not describing human trafficking.
I'm describing women who are going to court to accuse you of rape and human trafficking.
We will see what women go. We will see what women go to court at the end of this trial. We'll see which women go.
Can I finish, please?
We'll see which women go to court.
I'm describing women who are going to court to accuse you of rape and human
Sophie hasn't gone to court. Sophie doesn't exist.
I'm describing women who have spoken to the BBC at length.
Sophie doesn't exist.
And other media organisations about what they say is emotional manipulation and coercion. And I'm quoting back to you your own words where you describe.
They're not my words.
Coercion.
They're words you found. They're words you found on the internet. And Sophie doesn't exist.
On
so let's move on to the next subject.
In your voice.
Move on to the next subject.
No, I think I'll stick on this one for a minute. So there's other places.
Do we not see? Do we not see? Right? She's literally trying to mother him. Okay. Now, I'm drawing this point because I want men to understand this is generally what modern women think they can do, and they believe that this is how they can talk to men. They believe, a lot of them believe, that they can stand on the grounds of trying to talk to you like a child, right? They can come into this man's house, who let's just go ahead and have this talk, by the way. You know, the whole high value man talk. I do believe that as far as we could tell, Tate fits the description of the high value man in every way that we have described, all right, that we know to talk about, right? But still understand, Tate still has to deal with this. This is why I'll tell guys, like, yo, when it comes to being high value and stuff like this, you're only going to raise yourself. Or let me say it this way. You want to raise yourself to the best life that you want. Don't try to base your life off of somebody else's. As far as I want to have as much money as Tate. I want to attract the same girls Tate does. I want to live the exact same lifestyle that Tate does. You're probably not going to have it that way because Andrew Tate is him because he's him. You know, he is the person that attracts what he attracts, and, you know, he moves how he moves. You're going to do it in your way. And the type of girls he attracts may not be the exact girls you attract. Not to say that you can't have your pick of the litter of highly attractive, you know what I mean, beautiful women. That's not the case. And that's not to tell you to don't go out there and succeed at your best. But don't try to emulate or think that you need to be as good or do exactly what somebody like a Tate does. Okay? That's not how you want to go about being your highest best self. You want to go out and be your best self for you, so you can have the best options for you based off what you want to do in life. Not trying to compare yourself to somebody like a Tate or somebody else who's out there, a quote unquote high value guy. Okay. You want to go out there and do what it is that you're passionate about doing and be at that best level. Okay. You want to be high value at that thing, not what Tate does. Okay. But even still, just becoming high value is not a cure all for dealing with women's, you know, bullshit. I mean, there's still going to be situations and places where you're going to have to deal with women who are going to try to come at you like this, microaggressions, even the pretty girls that you attract. You're still going to have to know how to deal with them. This is why the red pill and the manosphere and things like this are so important, because you still need to understand how to carry yourself once you become that high value guy. It's not enough just to get the money. You just made yourself a bigger target. Now you need to understand how to fight the flies and deal with certain women accordingly and knowing what to look for. Okay? That's why these things matter. Let's keep it going.
This is in that same website where you say you get girls to fall in love with you and they do it because they love you, because they want to do what you say. Convincing women to take part in some kind of business arrangement doesn't work long term because they're emotional. You've got to get them to fall in love with you. That's coercion, that's emotional manipulation, that's abuse.
What you found are clips from the internet, some text from the internet, and you're going to sit here and tell me that that's the reason I should be
your website, your words.
It's not my website.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Check my website. Next.
It's the website you've taken down, and I wonder why those comments have been taken down.
No website's been taken down. My website is the same. It's been the same for a very long time.
The comments on this website, on the original website, have been taken down, and I wonder why.
You are accusing me, I'm guessing, what you're trying to say is you're accusing me, and you're trying to say that I'm guilty of the things I'm accused of, and I'm emotionally manipulating people.
I'm saying that you have said you emotionally manipulated people here for your own financial gain.
No, absolutely not.
Now, see, the thing is that all the crimes that she tries to initially lead with, she understands that, you know, Tate's not going to incriminate himself. And of course, you know, those are going to be no's, but she's trying to lead all this into, oh, well, you emotionally manipulated these women. And Tate is like, no, I didn't. Prove it. And based off the merit, okay, you know, her self-righteous ass believes that she can come in there and start dictating to him who he is and what he did as though she is his fucking mother. She believes, okay, that she is able to tell him what he did. Tate is just like, no, I'm not going for it. Right? And he's just saying, no, absolutely not. What else do you have for me? Because this ain't gonna fly. It's not going. Right?
And I'm asking you about that.
Absolutely not is the answer. I look forward to the end of this trial. I look forward to clearing my name. I look forward to the BBC and the legacy media having to say not guilty and having to tell the truth. As I've said before, the only other person who's been found, despite absolute rigorous, destructive levels of investigation and prodding into my life, is this imaginary Sophie by the BBC who doesn't exist. And if you were to find any single other man on earth and try and analyze his life forensically to the level they've done mine, you would find genuine damage to people. I don't hurt people.
It's not just
thousands of women have come out in my defense. Thousands of women have come out in my defense, and you've not mentioned that. Thousands of women come out in my defense.
Because the problem is when women accuse you of serious crimes.
Okay,
and emotional
but let's agree that thousands of women. Let's agree that
it's
thousands.
It's not the problem that some people say you haven't done it. It's a problem that some people say you.
As if any one person who ever has made an allegation, one allegation to rule them all is all it takes. And now Tate's a criminal. Now he's a bad guy. Now we must destroy him because a person has lobbied an allegation at him. This is the society we live in. It's not, she even says, oh, it's not enough to say that thousands have defended you. It's about the one that says, oh, well, you did a thing. Really? And that's all it takes for you to come into my house and try to make me a criminal. When I did you the honor and the glory, BBC, of coming in here, giving you an opportunity to report, and this is what you do. And this is what leads us to Tate making the video that he made later, where he literally told him, if y'all want to talk to me again, or if any legacy media wants to talk to me, it will be $50,000 in a box of chocolates. And this, at this point, even in this video, this is pretty much where she was done. She was pretty much done after this. Anything and everything else she was trying to hurl at Tate, he already took the feet out of from under her. He took the wind out of her sails already. There's nothing more that she can go in on. It's a wrap.
Thousands of women come out in my defense, and as we stand right now, we have an open criminal investigation. People who are involved in the criminal investigation are saying we're not victims of anything. Andrew's fine, he's never hurt us. You're saying, no, I have the opposite to that. I have to counter that. I have someone called Sophie with no face, a fake name, who we've invented, and she's not accusing you of anything criminal. So I don't see the whole point you're trying to make. You say you
manipulate women. They say you manipulate women. Why wouldn't people think you do?
I'm not here. Do you think I'm manipulating you?
I'm asking you about the testimony you've given on your website and the testimony women have given.
You've printed something off that you found on Reddit And you're going to sit here and say that makes me a bad person. I'm saying that you should know better as a journalist and do some proper journalism. Let's investigate the fact that thousands.
You should answer my question.
I am.
That was the third time. Y'all noticed that, right? That was the third time. And what happened? His lawyer got in there because she's also another female. She got in there. It's just like, all right, look here. You need to stop. Okay, you need to stop. And that's what she says. She gets in there. She's just like, all right, you need to knock it off. This is a bit much what you're trying to do right here. Okay. These are the type of things, because I wanted to give this in a way to where we understand what it looks like when somebody is trying to have a gotcha moment in an interview, and you stand firmly on what it is that you know and what it is that you say you are. This is an example of Tate standing on his square. This is an example that I think more men need to pay attention to. Tate wasn't going for none of that. He wasn't going for none of it. She tried to come in here with some smoke. Tate was like, you can't prove anything. So I thought this would be an opportunity for y'all to ask me about what I went through, what I've been through, but you want to come in here on a smear and attack campaign. Well, guess what, BBC? Now I'm cooking all of y'all social media motherfuckers, and everybody's going to get the smoke now. So next time you want to see me, box of chocolates.
I already have, and we should move on. She's just trying to start arguing.
It's not only about the criminal allegations. It's a much bigger issue. You've got children's organisations in the UK. You've got rape organisations in the UK. You've got the police naming you by name as someone who has a harmful influence on children and on women.
Okay. So, society is mostly ran by simps. What are you talking about? Oh, well, this many people have this opinion of you, and this many people. So the fuck what? Who cares? So what if they do? Okay? They have an opinion, but what can you prove? Yeah? What can you put on my name and have it stand up in a court of law? He was already unjustly arrested. They held him 90 days with no prosecution. What else can you do? All these people have an opinion. Well, yeah, social media. So what? Yeah? So what? What are you going to do?
In the UK and elsewhere, because of the things you say, because of the way you present gender relations, the way you say men should treat women.
That's very upsetting. And the reason that's very upsetting is because I know that's not true. I'm genuinely a good person. I believe my impact on the world is positive. In fact, if you were to read the comment section of nearly any video I post, especially by the legacy media, 95% of the population agree with me. Most people know that the things I say are positive. Legacy media as a whole has lost all its credibility in the last 3 to 4 years. Nobody believes it. And it's a shame. It's a massive shame that the BBC come here and try and push and purport this idea that I'm a dangerous person. I'm anti-drugs. I've never pushed drugs or any. I'm anti-drugs. I'm anti-violence. The UK is facing a knife crime epidemic, and they're going to sit here and say that I'm the most dangerous man in the UK.
You have said you're the most dangerous man in the world.
I've said I'm the most dangerous man in the world.
You've also said that a woman's intimate parts belong to her male partner. I'm glad you find that funny.
I find it funny that you're sitting here saying that I've said I'm the most dangerous man in the world, and you believe that's. When did I say that?
I'm asking if you believe it.
Nah, she can't even prove it. She can't even stand on it. Now, since she's essentially lost all her credibility points, now it's just hurling shit back and forth, and now she's just talking shit. And that's what it is, right? That's what that is, guys. Like, seriously. Now you have to understand that that's what it's come to. All right? That's what it's come to. Somebody loses their talking points. It comes down to now we're just going to hurl shit back and forth. Now it's a shit talking contest. A damn shame. A damn shame. Well, guys, like I said, this was generally going to be a quick one. I didn't want to hold you guys too long. I just wanted to hit my points tonight. I wanted to go ahead and give you guys information. Something that I was seeing. I wanted to talk about it. I want to give my opinion about it. Something that, y'all could take with you and have somebody break down to you of how to stand on what you stand on, say what you say, mean what you say, and then challenge somebody's argument without losing your cool. All right, because a lot of people could probably do this, but they have to damn near throw a chair to do it. This is how you can engage when someone is trying to hang you out to dry, someone is trying to defeat your argument or your points, and they don't have anything to go on. Okay, this is how you stand on top of that. You stand on your square. Now, to my concluding thought, the thing that I want to say the most is, this really is the opinion of a lot of modern women. All right, this is how they're kind of taught and trained to deal with and talk to men like they are your freaking mother. Okay, this mentality, the culture. Here we go again with the culture that a lot of us are being brought into. It has these women are taught and they're trained to believe that they lord over you and talk to grown men like little boys. This is destroying, or feminism is destroying, especially when it's displayed like this, is destroying the fabric of our country. Even though obviously we're dealing with the UK in this context, still the fabric of the West is becoming undone. And examples like these show us in real time why it is the way it is. Okay, why it is the way it is. And money, ladies and gentlemen, second biggest point, money doesn't solve this. Oh, I got enough money, I don't have to deal with. No. That just makes you a bigger target now. Now you more so than anybody have to understand how to deal and handle these situations. Right? So, again, y'all take that with you tonight. All right. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody for coming out. Appreciate the old subscribers, new subscribers, everybody in the chat who was supporting. All right. The family was in here. Brother LXST, Brother Jamel. All right. So, like I said, y'all get ready for my weekend show. We will be doing a show on Saturday. We're going to get it popping, man. I got a very good show coming up on Saturday. It's going to be a good topic. Y'all going to love it. We're going to get into it. We got some new information, and man, it's going down. So, like I said, guys, that is going to be the show for the evening. Appreciate you guys for joining. Appreciate y'all for stopping by. Catch me on the next show coming up on Saturday. And with that being said, I'm going to get up out of here, y'all. Peace. I'm out.